All right, guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you. I'm sorry this review is coming a little bit later. It's about an hour after Raw ended, but I just wanted to make sure I got all the names in properly of who all got moved around in the first day of the Superstar Shakeup. I kept checking WWE.com's page that was showing latest updates, and some of them weren't announced on Raw, some were shared on Instagram. So I was just trying to make sure I got it correct, and I just wanted to also just map out the current rosters we have right now, even though SmackDown's is looks like nobody's on the show for the most part for SmackDown. But I wanted to just make sure I have it correct there. Just try to look at the bigger picture and to see, what I think so far of the moves that were made, including the debuts and returns we got from last week's episodes of Raw and SmackDown also. So I apologize again. I'm starting this a little bit late tonight. So hopefully probably will go about an hour again talking. So I won't keep you guys up too late if you're gonna stay tuned and watch me live. Um, so bad the shakeup so disappointing, Lauren says. Yeah, I definitely yeah, there was a lot of moves I was surprised. Like last year, I think including tag teams, only got like 10 moves it was or something like that. This year I feel like we got like a lot more. And there's a lot of superstars that came over from SmackDown, like a lot of guys that were like, barely being used, but we got some good ones, a couple good ones in there, but man, there's like some guys that like even guys like who are like on the borderline of like somewhat getting somewhere on SmackDown, but at the same time probably wouldn't be there on Raw. I am a little bit concerned about them, but I'd have to wait and see until after SmackDown gets the stars that they get tomorrow. I mean, so far we only know one star going over to SmackDown for sure, and that is The Miz, based off the storyline that we got tonight. But overall, though, I mean, I still thought this episode of Raw was still a solid episode. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about the stars that came over in the Superstar Shakeup. Um, um, Let me see here. So Happy Jinder is on Raw now, no more pushed. Well, I wasn't happy about it at first, but then I am now. But I'll get to that. It's okay. I understand you're tired. Yeah, it's been crazy lately. I'm sorry. She gave Raw a D. We were right that Natty was going to Raw. Yep, that happened for sure. But yeah, let's get right into it, and let's get started with talking about day one of the Superstar Shakeup and the April 16th, 2018 edition of Monday Night Raw in Hartford, Connecticut. So let's get rolling there. A lot of chat. Just keep it rolling, and I will keep up as best I can. So it starts off with Kurt Angle making his entrance. And at first I thought, okay, there's that. And apparently the whole SmackDown Live roster is backstage. So maybe we'll get some teases or even some more interviews of of people possibly coming over or not, but we didn't really get that. We kind of got what we got last year, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. I didn't really like how for the Superstar Shakeup they just like show up like, okay, I'm here. I mean, I feel like they made some of them feel like a little bit more special this year, like they did last year, how they did. But I still didn't like how it was like, okay, they're here, they're on the show. It's like, couldn't they get us a little bit more suspense in some of them? Well, again, some they did, but it still felt like some was missing to the build for each person debuting or moving over to Raw. Let's see here. So let's get started again. Kurt making his entrance out there. He reminds us that the Superstar Shakeup and it runs through tomorrow night. He wants to move on to something else, but he gets cut off. And then came out was Sunil Singh. I'm like, oh my gosh, no. Because my thing was, I wanted Orton to go to Raw, but they're going to put Jinder on Raw as U.S. champion. I'm thinking, no. Orton and Jinder are supposed to be having a match at Backlash for the U.S. title. If that's going to happen, I mean, I still was predicting they were going to switch to mid-card titles again, which I still think Seth's going to go to SmackDown tomorrow. He could, but, it could pull a swerve on us and put Jeff Hardy over there and keep Seth on Raw. I don't know, like it could pull a swerve on us somehow, but getting a little too far here, guys. Sorry. But Anyways, so Jinder comes out, and at first I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, if WWE is going to even think about making Jinder a big star on Raw, then they're completely stupid. Well, I was, because he already had a U.S. title on him, so I'm thinking, okay, if he didn't have the U.S. title, I wouldn't have been so upset at first, because it's like, okay, he's going back. He didn't get drafted to Raw. He's going back to main event, guys. The show main event, not the actual main event of Raw. So Jinder comes out, as he is the first person to be revealed to be moved over to Raw, and he congratulates Kurt on drafting and making him a Raw superstar by making him, with that, is to make Raw the A show. He wants to know why he was brought in an SUV, as he only travels in a limousine, and Kurt welcomes him and says that he never agreed on a limo, and Mahal says that Angle knew his expectations, and he knows that he's better than other superstars on the roster. Angle doesn't buy it, but Jinder insists that this is his kingdom, and he expects the same perks that Brock Lesnar gets. In fact, he demands them. Kurt wants him to email him his email address, and he pretty much tells him, spells it out. He says kurt.angle@nofreakingway.com. Pretty much saying, it just felt like, Kurt's saying, yeah, you got lucky over on SmackDown Live, but you're not gonna get the same thing you got over here on Raw. So then he said, if you want to be a fighting champion, then you're gonna have to defend that title here over on Raw. So that's when he issued an open challenge for whoever wanted to fight for the U.S. title. And out came Jeff Hardy. So I'm like, oh, sweet. They can put the title on Jeff Hardy. That would be freaking awesome. Just get that title off of Jinder Mahal. Treat this U.S. title run as just a Band-Aid. Just put it on, and then just going to rip it right off. Well, pretty much. Well, actually, we want to put the Band-Aid on to heal this wound of this pointless, U.S. title win for Jinder. So we had a match, Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. And this match is, to me, to continue to tell a story to me. I just felt like that opening promo and this match itself told the story of Jinder not really being that good to begin with in the first place. So him going to Raw was just going to send him right back to the bottom of the pile, pretty much, and you're going to have to work his way back up. That's exactly what we saw in this match. They tried to have him, whichever same brother, Sunil, cause the distraction on Jeff Hardy, but it didn't work. And eventually, to a surprise, Jeff Hardy won the U.S. title. Jinder afterwards, in a backstage segment, would say that he's Mr. USA, and he says, he's saying that Kurt Angle is already running a conspiracy against him because he's not getting the same treatment he got on SmackDown. Sorry, Jinder, you don't have Road Dogg to cover your ass anymore. And because I wasn't ready to compete tonight, but he invoked his rematch clause in 2 weeks at the Greatest Royal Rumble event. So it will be Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal for the U.S. title, which, I'm cool with that. I wouldn't mind seeing Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton in the U.S. title match at Backlash. That would be a pretty good match, I feel. And then he says Angle tries to deploy him like this again. He's going to find exactly why. And then all of a sudden you hear the music. I thought first maybe it might have been a botch, but No Way Jose was in his conga line dancing around, and he tells Jinder he needs to smile. And when life gets him down, he says, no way. So he takes Renee Young, and they start dancing together, and Mahal just starts fuming. So I don't know if this leads like a pre-show match between Mahal and No Way Jose or something like that at Backlash or something, but I don't really care, honestly. I mean, I like No Way Jose, but I feel putting him on Raw was a bad idea. I feel he's going to easily get lost in the shuffle and be like the next, Adam Rose, as I said last week. And sure enough, what's the feud with Jinder Mahal going to do? Well, Jinder Mahal was getting the heat tonight. The crowd was pretty much telling him he sucked straight to his face, pretty much, which is what kind of made his match with Jeff Hardy a little more interesting. But Jeff Hardy won the U.S. title, and that makes Jeff a Grand Slam champion also. I didn't realize right away tonight, but yes, that makes Jeff a Grand Slam champion. So I was thinking last week Hardy was going to go over to SmackDown, but with him winning the U.S. title, not sure they're going to keep the U.S. title on Raw, on SmackDown as it was before, or they're going to move it over to Raw and keep it on Jeff. And I still think there's a chance that Seth can go over to SmackDown, but since Miz is already going over to SmackDown, maybe they'll put Jeff over on SmackDown and have him fight Orton, and then maybe like Miz and Raw sell their match at Backlash with the Intercontinental title on the line, possibly going over to SmackDown. But eventually, it's going to lead to a match between Miz and Daniel Bryan probably. So we'll see what happens though tomorrow night on SmackDown. But that's how we opened up the show. Let's see here. Let's go back here. Natty face turn. Yep, she did. Hassan, what's up, man? He said, I got a lot of predictions correct except Rude, Ruby, and Liv. I only predicted Sarah to go solo. I thought it was going to be Ruby. I definitely one of them should have split up. We'll get to that. Confirmed. Turner, Natty, and Drew will do that after this. Yeah, I agree. I was very surprised when it was Bobby Roode who showed up on Raw instead of Randy Orton. I definitely felt Orton should have gone over to Raw. I'm not too sure how I feel about Orton going over. Absolution is going to SmackDown Live. I said it for weeks. We'll definitely talk about that shortly also. Maybe not, but only because of gender. Drew is a heel now, sadly. I mean, Drew kind of did work better. I feel Drew could work better as a heel. I mean, his run down NXT as a face wasn't bad. I do feel though this kind of drifts away from him. You know, his whole storyline of him coming back though as it was down NXT. But I am actually interested to see where this team goes with him and Ziggler. If so, then at Goldust, why is everyone from NXT who debuts on the main roster turns heel? That is true. Definitely. A lot of them seem to do. What is going on with Backlash now? A lot of matches already. Well, some matches are confirmed. It sounds like we're getting Joe and Roman. I think we're getting Seth and Miz. Randy Orton facing over as the U.S. champion. Hopefully Jeff Hardy. I think Alexa Bliss is invoking a rematch clause at Backlash. I'm kind of hoping that they only defend just not all, but just some of the titles at the pay-per-views, and not all of them, like on like a B pay-per-view. Again, with them still having all the titles, I'm still concerned that, you know, the B pay-per-views and the A pay-per-views aren't going to feel any different at this point. Did you watch my rant? I forgot to watch the rant. Well, I did. Match are confusing now. I didn't. Raw stole a lot of SmackDown's low guys. They definitely did. Are they trying to, you know, stack up the main event roster on main event or something like that? I mean, maybe some of them will get opportunities, but hopefully some guys, some bigger names are going over to SmackDown, even though, you know, a couple of them could get lost in the doghouse again. Why can't Shinsuke and Randy defeat Jinder, but Jeff can't? Jeff can. Something's fishy. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I didn't know about Gable going to Raw. I mean, like, I was hoping it would have been Gable and Benjamin going over to Raw, because that idea I pitched about having them teaming up with Jason Jordan when he returns, and having Jason Jordan turn heel, but it sounds like Chad Gables is going solo on Raw. That concerns me a little bit also. I definitely think Chad has potential, but I would have rather seen him start his singles career, though, on SmackDown, though. Yeah, that scares me. What predictions do you think for SmackDown? What predictions did you want on Raw? Let me see. I'm gonna pull up my list again. I thought Raw was gonna get Becky Lynch. I was wrong. Dolph Ziggler. I was correct. Gable and Benjamin. We got Gable. Lana didn't happen. Natalya happened. Randy Orton didn't happen. Ruby Riott happened. Rusev and Aiden English, that didn't happen. The Usos, everybody felt should have gone to Raw. The one division that I definitely think already has, you know, is not going to improve much is the tag team divisions. I wasn't impressed with the moves they made for the tag team divisions. They're not, just don't feel too fresh now. And Zack Ryder, I predicted to go into Raw. For SmackDown, going to SmackDown, I have Alexa Bliss, The Bar, Bayley, Big Cass, The Club, Elias, Finn Balor, Jeff Hardy, Mickie James, and Seth Rollins. Those were my predictions, Hassan. Let's see here. We Seth, Sasha, The Bar, Jeff, and Mickie going to SmackDown Live. I definitely see any of those happening. You mean Jinder beat Shinsuke and Orton, but not Jeff. Miz is on SmackDown because Daniel wants to fight him. Been 2 years brewing. Finally, I'm definitely looking forward to that match happening. Miz Taraj is going to SmackDown Live. Actually, Kurt said tonight that they weren't going to SmackDown Live, actually. So I do find that kind of interesting. So I do wonder if the Miz will try to, round up a new stable when he moves over to SmackDown tomorrow night. I look forward to definitely seeing what he could pull off. The Intercontinental and U.S. titles can't both be on Raw. Well, definitely, yeah. So as I said, either Seth's going over or Jeff is going over, since they have the mid-card titles right now. Unless they want to keep them both on one brand until like Backlash, or even if it happens at the Greatest Royal Rumble, where one of the titles will move over. But then again, that might make it a little bit too predictable. But definitely Intercontinental, one of the mid-card titles is going over to SmackDown. Yeah, Finn needs to go to SmackDown also. Rusev versus Taker back on. Yeah, I definitely heard. I'm surprised that match was back on, because it was originally going to change to Rusev and Jericho. But not Rusev and Jericho, Taker and Jericho. But they put it back to Rusev and Taker. I'm still not a huge fan of the match. Yes, I want to see Randy and Jeff. Did you hear about Cena breaking up? Yeah, I can't believe they did also. I'm kind of sad about that. Bummer, 6 years, all for that. Well, they probably had their reasons why. I just wish them the best. We were shocked with the news. No, not really. SmackDown Live will be better or worse in your opinions? I think definitely better. I think they're definitely going to get I definitely think SmackDown's definitely going to get some more developed stars. Last year, SmackDown just got a lot of superstars that were just struggling. Well, then again, they had Road Dogg take over as head writer, but still, they threw on SmackDown a bunch of stars who were just could have been benefited from the Ryan Ward writing, but instead they were stuck with the Road Dogg writing. So now that SmackDown probably gonna get stars that are definitely more established, I think SmackDown Live could be in a better direction, I feel, in my honest opinion. We got Jared Digger Lama. If I mispronounced your name, man, I'm sorry. He said, I love your views on NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. Keep up the great work. Thank you for the endorsement. Definitely make sure to tune in. Donna says, I thought it would happen. Lawrence says, was hoping McIntyre would be traded to SmackDown Live, honestly. I wouldn't have minded seeing McIntyre debut on the main roster and be the one to dethrone the Jinder of the U.S. title, honestly. I was hoping we could see that, but then it didn't happen. So, whatever. Lawrence said my predictions were way off. That's all right. Mojo was traded to Raw, and Mike Kanellis saw that. Ziggler on Raw was shocking. Ziggler, I kind of predicted Ziggler. I thought, if you're not going to do anything with Ziggler on SmackDown Live, just put him on Raw and just, have him he'll probably just get lost in the shuffle anyways, and, keep the opportunities open for people who actually deserve them. But no, I am kind of interested in this team with him and McIntyre. See what's happening there. Yeah, Corbin was shocking going to Raw. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I'm worried that Corbin will be someone who will suffer from this as well. As I feel like he would have been better off staying on SmackDown, honestly. I was shocked by that one. Nia on SmackDown. That would be a swerve if they put Nia on SmackDown, since she is the Raw Women's Champion. They could still do it and swerve us, but that would be a surprise. I wanted Ziggler and Corbin and Mojo's sister. We need Cass. Put Big Cass on SmackDown Live. I felt he could at least benefit there. Lawrence says, Becky deserves to be on Raw, as does Orton, for the most deserving to get traded, because they need fresh feuds and storylines. Worst draft ever in her opinion. I mean, at least my thing is if they're going to have a lot of fresh faces on SmackDown, at least that could help, with some fresh feuds. But I definitely think a change in scenery would have been a good idea also for Orton and Becky. The shakeup is average. Raw is a B+. Raw got jobber. So, yeah, pretty much. Adam Cole on SmackDown Live, maybe. Yay, baby. Maybe next year, but I think not yet. But I would like to see Adam Cole on SmackDown Live. Yeah, baby, as Lauren would say. Zayn is back with Ward. Good. Fashion Police on Raw. Drop them down to NXT. Yeah, again, the tag team divisions. I was just Raw. I mean, they got AOP, but I don't know if they're going to consider, McIntyre and Ziggler, or he also got there. We got what else do we got? We have like Hardy and Bray Wyatt, who are probably gonna be the next like big babyface tag team. Raw also got the Ascension. Why? And then like we got Owens and Zayn, but yeah, like we got a lot of if some of these teams that we got are legitimate teams like Owens and Zayn and Ziggler, McIntyre, we have a lot of heel tag teams. We have like right now. Here's the thing: I have the list of Raw tag teams. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have 6 face teams and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heel teams, and of course, probably 2 of them at least are going to be traded over to SmackDown Live. We got the Ascension, who are babyfaces because they're best friends with Breezango. Office of Pain, The Bar, Beauty and the Man Beast, Breezango, The Club, Owens and Zayn, The Revival, Titus Worldwide, The Woken Family, and Ziggler and McIntyre. Kind of a little bit like a mad division again for the Raw tag team division. I thought they should have gotten at least the Usos and maybe both Gable and Benjamin, but nope, Gable's just going solo, so I was surprised there. No Way Jose annoys me. That's fine, Lauren. Moto's going to job on Raw. I definitely should stay on SmackDown. Yeah, Mike Kanellis doesn't even wrestle. Asuka. Yeah, where was Asuka again tonight? No Asuka once again. We haven't seen Asuka since she lost at WrestleMania. They could move her over to SmackDown, as Lauren said, but I think keep her at least on Raw. I mean, she's definitely wrestled everybody on Raw, but I don't know what they're going to do with Asuka. I mean, if they move her to SmackDown, it'd be interesting, but I feel like they would just put too many of the bigger stars on SmackDown Live. It's definitely Bayley or Sasha, maybe both, but one of them I think definitely has to move over to the SmackDown. SmackDown still doesn't have a sister show, so those jobbers need Raw. Well, I mean, yes. Well, SmackDown lost the superstars because of 205 Live being at it. Now that we just turn Rude heel, definitely Bobby Roode again just works so much better as a heel. SummerSlam better be better. I mean, SmackDown better be better now after tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm still not sold on the Bray and Matt story. That's fine. Too many heels in WWE, enough already. Yes, just way too many turns. Roderick, Shinsuke, Murphy, McIntyre. Then we have Paige as GM, Bray, Nice, and Natty. A lot. No more turns until next year, please. Watch more turns happen tomorrow. Sadly, it won't surprise me. It's going to happen. Gable deserves better. He'll be a jobber. Sadly, that's what I'm worried about. Having a single star on Raw. Finn for SmackDown. Yes, SmackDown needs women. Man, I mean, SmackDown has Charlotte. Who does SmackDown have right now? Well, SmackDown right now has Becky, which they can do more with. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, which I'm hoping they'll be strong. Carmella, somewhat there. Charlotte, Lana, yeah, meh. Naomi, all right. Nikki Bella, which is not around all the time, and Peyton Royce. So I mean, like they have a little bit more depth, I feel, on SmackDown than Raw does. I mean, they have some names on Raw, but I think like SmackDown right now is okay with the women they have. Like maybe just a couple other. We'll see what we get tomorrow. I mean, I'm still thinking maybe Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, and probably either Bayley or Sasha. That's what I'm predicting. Charlotte should have been to Raw. I mean, she probably could have. I mean, she's the best star. I mean, that's what I was saying also. Like, I would not want to see both Charlotte and Asuka on the same brand, because that's too much star power on one brand, and like it's going to make the other division look kind of weak, I feel. Keep stuff coming in the live chat, though, guys. I want to keep moving along here. So then, yeah, this match was good until the end. But this next match, it was Bayley and Sasha Banks. The story was just, it felt like it was going to conclude tonight. But now it doesn't. Where are we going with this? Like, what is the whole point of this story at this point now? It's just dragging on way too long. Either two former best friends, or they had like a good match for the most part. The story being told there. Sasha pretty much just like saying it to Bayley. You're going to raise my hand, whatnot. And Bayley's more emotional part. The whole storyline with her just admitting how yes, everyone for herself, but the past few times she's like made it seem like that, like, she's enjoyed what she was doing to Bayley, playing like those mind games that doubt, and that maybe Sasha, is thinking something else. And then they imploded a few weeks ago, but it was still in a way that treated them both as baby faces. One of them should have turned heel by now. It had to happen. And then, you know, the match picked up big time getting brewing, and they literally started like brawling. It was more just a fight rather than an actual match. And then Sasha had Bayley into the bank statement, and it looked like it was, you know, they were going to have like a winner, and this match was going to conclude cleanly, and then we're going to move on. But who had to appear? The freaking Riot Squad. They could have just done one of them by themselves, but nope. The whole Riot Squad is now on Raw. So what? Just because Paige was, you know, is done now because of her her neck injury, you had to move over, you know, your copycat stable over to Raw, and now you're gonna move Absolution back over to SmackDown? Why? Both these stables now are absolutely pointless. You know, again, the Riot Squad was pointless, not the way it is. And then again, you know, the week before, Ruby Riott wrestled Charlotte at Fastlane, they finally mentioned why they came. It was because they were targeting Charlotte. Well, their mission failed, so why are they still together? Like, what are they going after now? If Bayley and Sasha somehow do not go over to SmackDown tomorrow, then are we just gonna do the same thing with Bayley and Sasha, just like Absolution did the Bayley and Sasha for how many freaking months? We get the same match. Both these stables now are pointless. I mean, Absolution, if Paige is still able to wrestle, Absolution would have a lot of meaning to it, because, you know, it's Paige, you know, making the statement that she's the one who truly started this whole, you know, turning point in women's wrestling. And there's two women who they were agreeing that the Riot Squad is just, it's once again superstars from NXT who were completely different than they are on the main roster down from NXT as well. Just poof, just changes to something different. So the Riot Squad is now on Raw. Wasn't thrilled by that one at all. Definitely throws a women's division like very even more unbalanced, I feel, in my honest opinion. We had that, and then we had a match between Authors of Pain and Beauty and the Man Beast again. You know, Beauty and the Man Beast had a little bit more offense. But Authors of Pain eventually came back to beat them again. We didn't see Paul Ellering tonight. I thought they would tease something with him since you know, AOP disowned him last week. But I'm wondering, since War Machine debuted on NXT last week, I wonder if maybe he'll go back down to NXT and be the manager for War Machine, maybe. We'll see what happens. But that's what happened with that match. Let's check the live chat here really quickly here. Nothing really going on. That's fine. So that's happened there. And then we had a Miz TV segment hyping up that, you know, a superstar was going to be revealed coming to Raw that would change the landscape of Monday Night Raw. But sure enough, it ended up being two, as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who both, at first I wasn't for this, because I'm like, okay, you know, they both fought in a match last week, and they both lost by count out, so they should have jobs. So they come out, and then, you know, the five of them, the Miz, Taraj, and Owens are pretty much just, you know, like Raven, how, like, you know, the five of them are going to be a team, and they're going to, I thought we're going to form some big stable here on Raw. It's like, geez, this could be interesting. You know, I don't know what they're going to call themselves. They could be some big faction now on Raw, maybe, or something like that. How they're going to go that direction. But then all of a sudden, Kurt Angle comes out, and he says, as far as he knows, Miz has no control around here, but Kurt does. Owens and Zayn had their shots last week, and they both lost. But Owens says that there's an email that was just sent a few minutes ago, and to sum it up, plans have changed. And Sami Zayn, who put on a pair of reading glasses. I didn't know Sami wore glasses. But Sami read the email basically saying Stephanie McMahon gave them a contract because of Kurt's emotional decisions, or whatever the heck it was. He said last week. So because of that, Stephanie hired both Owens and Zayn. Which, by the way, I was given information by my good friend tonight that apparently Stephanie McMahon was video chatting. I guess there is a class offer at the college I went to called Survey of the WWE or something like that. It's like a elective or something. If I would have known, I would have taken it in college. But apparently, Stephanie McMahon got to video chat with some students at the college I went to recently to talk about working for the WWE. I'm like, man, I would have liked to have definitely participated in that if I would have known so. But yeah, I had to get that shout out there as well. Go Colonials. But yeah, so of course, but then Owens and Zayn they start losing their mind over the fact that Stephanie McMahon offered him contracts, being like really sarcastic towards Kurt's. Like Kurt's like, all right, fine, you guys got me, pretty much. He's surprised that Stephanie had time to write a letter, though, given that Ronda Rousey ripped her arm off and she's in physical therapy trying to rehab it, pretty much. But what's done is done. He welcomes Sami and Kevin to Raw and tells them, you need to say goodbye to The Miz. And The Miz is like, what are you talking about? And he said he got a call from Shane McMahon and Paige. Daniel Bryan was very adamant about getting The Miz on SmackDown, which, of course, based off of the history they had, as Daniel Bryan's been wanting to get his hands on The Miz ever since The Miz just verbally abusing him on Talking Smack and his previous run on SmackDown Live. So, that match was just long in coming, and we needed to see it happen. So The Miz says that SmackDown will be the show now that he and The Miz will be over there, and they'll make it a must-see TV. But Angle said, it's just you, Miz. The Miz Taraj isn't going anywhere. But I want to give you a little go-away present. A 10-man tag match tonight. The 5 guys are Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, and a certain superstar is going to be making his Raw debut against the 5 of them. He says, Miz, though, I'm going to miss you. So yeah, so we got that hype. So big swerve there, Owens and Zayn, get hired, but then The Miz is going back over to Raw with nobody by his side. So that's why I said, before, I'd be interested to see if The Miz tries, gather up, some other troopers to try to form a stable with over on SmackDown Live. So it could be a roll of a swerve tomorrow night. And probably eventually we'll see Daniel Bryan and The Miz collide. Maybe they can wait till SummerSlam. Maybe I don't know if they can get it out and drag it out that long, but the match needs to happen based off the history from Talking Smack and whatnot. Live chat. Let's see what's going on here. Lauren said, yes, Charlotte back to Raw. Ronda is only going to wrestle pay-per-views. Sadly, no main roster match yet, pretty much. Strowman to SmackDown Live. I'm not too sure if it'll happen, but I do think it is a possibility, and I wouldn't be fully against it either. I feel like, Strowman may have ran his course on Raw, and I wouldn't mind seeing him move over to SmackDown Live. So I think that's definitely a good possibility. There's nothing really much going on in the live chat right now, but I will keep it going here. Thanks guys for staying tuned in there. But then we had Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy taking on the Revival in the finals for the tag team eliminator. The winner going to face the bar for the vacated Raw tag titles as Braun Strowman and 10-year-old Nicholas Cone relinquished him last week, because Nicholas has a son called Fourth Grade to commit to. But the match wasn't too bad. I actually enjoyed it because, it was, the Revival who in NXT were always, great with their psychology and their mind games and whatnot, just trying to outsmart their opponents against, like Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt's wonderful mind game tactics also in there. I thought they both meshed very well, and I wouldn't mind seeing these two have like an eventual feud down the line as well. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy get the win. It sounds like, Bray Wyatt turned face after he was under the leg of reincarnation, and the soul of Sister Abigail was deleted pretty much out of him, which is, taking over him pretty much. And now it's, he's pretty much, just on a good side now, if you want to put it that way. So I've definitely been enjoying this tag team so far. Personally, I have. So I definitely hope they hit Matt and Bray do get long runs with the tag titles as well. And of course the bar stares them down. We have some weird cheesy music video. Advertising how all pay-per-views is going to be dual branded, starting with Backlash. So I mean, they could have just announced it. It was just a little corny. I thought this music video was just really weird. Then we had the bar walking backstage talking to themselves about Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Then they run into the Fashion Police, who admitted that they've been transferred to Raw. They have to clean up the mean streets on the show, and they ask if Sheamus has a permit for the Mohawk and issue citations for the kilts to boot, calling them dresses. And then the bar just flip out and just tear up their tickets. We get a recap of what's happened in the Superstar Shakeup so far, and then also Ronda yanking Stephanie McMahon's arm out of the socket. And then we had Ronda backstage talking to Kurt about the WrestleMania experience that they had and how much it was worth, but Kurt said he has a surprise. she surprises a lot of people, but Stephanie's not going to go away quietly, and who knows what she has planned. Meanwhile, though, he has a surprise for her, and it's Natalya who came over to Raw, which I kept predicting should happen because I felt like she'd run her course on SmackDown Live, and I felt she needed a face turn because I feel like her heel run just ran its course definitely. And I see Natalya as that more motherly, veteran character pretty much at this point on the show. So I think definitely a change of scenery, and also her changing back to being a baby face was definitely the right move. But Ronda's happy to see Natty, and they hug. Apparently they train together, and Angle says that Natty campaigned hard to come to Raw, and she says that she wants to prove that she's exactly what her uncle Bret the Hitman Hart is, or maybe at least the second best, and just fist bumps Ronda, and she leaves pretty much. Let's see here. Daniel wouldn't go to Raw. I thought he would stay on SmackDown at least until next year. Maybe next year he'll go to Raw. I think Brian would definitely stay on SmackDown. Maurice returned to SmackDown Live after maternity leave. She probably will, soon, maybe with The Miz going to SmackDown. About Nikki, where will she end up? Probably staying on SmackDown. We're more excited for the greatest Rumble or Backlash. She says, me, Backlash, to be honest. Yeah, I guess, maybe Backlash so far. Greatest Rumble, just seems kind of, maybe the match, the Royal Rumble match itself, I look forward to seeing that, but probably Backlash, I'd say. She's still not sold on Matt and Bray storyline. That's completely fine. Who do you think will split first, New Day or The Bar? She thinks The Bar. I think if the Bar are the Bar are definitely probably not going to win the Raw tag titles. So, again, if they want to keep them together for, having Cesaro going after one of the singles titles or something like that, and Sheamus' heater, I'm fine with that. But I think there could be a possibility that they'd split. New Day also could possibly split as well, since the Usos are staying on SmackDown Live. So maybe they may split the New Day soon. So it's possible, but I think I'll go with The Bar on that one. Also, are you surprised the Usos didn't go to Raw? Yes, I definitely am surprised. I thought they were. Have you noticed all these turns don't make sense at all to the stories? You need to write better. Some of them definitely, yes, they're a little bit off, but some of them are just swerves. I'm like, it could be interesting to see, I feel, in my opinion, but some of them, yeah, definitely do not make sense. Natty, future women's champion on Raw, she deserves one last run. Oh, she definitely does. Her SmackDown one was, wrestling wise, she was fine, but wasn't really the best, storytelling with that. But I definitely felt that Natty deserved to be a champion because she's worked very hard. Natty's definitely a very underrated women's wrestler, definitely. So I wouldn't mind her seeing get one last run. Did you hear Cena's next run? Maybe his last. I did not hear that. I did not hear about that. I heard that he will be at WrestleMania 35. I'm not sure what else he's going to be doing this year also. Why keep couples together on the same brand? I think it's better if it's on different brands, just in your opinion. That's fine. The face Ronda and Natty versus the Riot Squad next week. Not sure. Or Absolution stay on Raw. Maybe Absolution based off of what happened. But we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Why Absolution? Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Why is Absolution still using Paige's theme song? Why? Paige still has hers as general manager on SmackDown. Why does Absolution needs to use hers also? Of course, we'll find out tomorrow if somehow Paige still, plays favorites with them or something else. Or maybe Absolution will go to SmackDown and Paige will be like, you guys got to get a new theme song because, you're nothing to me now or whatever it is. But, yeah, I definitely agree with that, Lauren. Yeah, and, yeah, where on earth is Asuka? Again, I don't know why she hasn't been shown. On Raw or even SmackDown. Maybe we'll see her tomorrow on SmackDown. She's drafted to SmackDown. I don't know what the heck's happening there. But, yeah, keep the stuff coming to me, guys. Then we have a match, which wasn't too bad of a match. Ember Moon versus Mickie James. It was supposed to be both Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss on commentary, but Alexa stayed backstage and was interviewed saying how, she didn't feel safe sitting next to a bully like Nia Jax during the match. But she did announce that she's invoking a rematch at Backlash. So we'll get that match there. But I think we had a good, like, back and forth match for the most part between Ember and Mickey. Of course, my favorite part was the end when Ember hit the Eclipse on Mickey. Mickey sold the heck out of that Eclipse. Like she literally, like it looked like someone got hit. I mean, it looks similar to, like, the stunner in some ways, or like an RKO or something like that. But man, did Mickey sell the heck out of that Eclipse. That's just one of my favorite moves by a women's wrestler in a long time, definitely. And Mickey sold the heck out of it. So Ember gets the win yet again. I mean, she's a great addition to the women's division on Raw. So I look forward to definitely seeing where she goes within the next year, also on Raw. In the locker room, we had Zayn and Owens talking about their rocky start with Kurt Angle, trying already seem like he doesn't like them, but Sammy wants to focus on tonight's match, specifically on Strowman. Owens is concerned about the mystery partner, but Zayn wants to put it out of their heads, and Owens says they could be walking to a lion's den, and they knew they were going to be treated like that. They should have stayed on SmackDown if this was going to happen. The Miz comes up and asks how is Shane, and they pretty much tell him that they want to focus on tonight and not tomorrow, or at least on the Miztourage. And Miz tells them to just focus as well. They need to forget about monsters among men and mystery men. Remember what's important. This is his Raw finale, and they need to make it must see. Of course, they're like, yeah, pretty much. So that's what we got there. Let's go there. Mandy reminds me of Trish. Kind of does, yeah. Paige will draft Absolution. I'm surprised New Day is still there with Paige. A little awkward. Oh, yeah. Because, again, Xavier Woods now is get all rated R, if you know what I mean. She didn't like Ember versus Mickey. That's fine. Mickey also deserves better. Make her face and draft her to SmackDown Live and let her compete for a title, or at least a decent feud. Definitely, I like that. Cammy has been downgraded as a team. Haha. Yeah, I still don't like that name. Do you think Kevin will turn, or will Sammy turn on Kevin? She thinks that Sammy will turn on Kevin. I mean, it could be possible that they can go roles reverse. So I'd definitely be interested in seeing that happening also as well. I think, Owens is more meant to be a heel though, but, I feel like, they could invest him as a babyface somehow. Like I see him being like, just one of his babyfaces that, yeah, he does bad things, but it's a way that, we enjoy it pretty much. So I wouldn't mind seeing the roles reversed. Brian versus Miz at Backlash, sure. Jeff versus Randy, yes. AJ versus Shinsuke, and Alexa versus Nia. We're definitely getting Alexa versus Nia. I'm not sure if we're going to do AJ versus Shinsuke at Backlash. I think probably are, or if they're going to try to hold off on it and wait until SummerSlam maybe to do it. But I don't know how they're going to drag it out. So I'd say we'll most likely get the match again at Backlash. I just don't want it to be that match that happens, too many times, like in a little span of time, though, if you know what I mean. Owens could never work as a face, just like Jinder. I mean, true, yeah. Owens was at least entertaining. Miz definitely, is meant to be a heel, though. Miz can't pull off a baby. I'm sorry. Him in 2013 as a face was just flat, I thought, in my opinion. But then we had this interesting segment. So Dolph Ziggler came out, of course, I keep saying how many times. Don't like how they have his entrance with, the lights going out, that little comes out, stands there awkward for a second, and then his music's playing. It should be the opposite, once again, as I keep saying. So he comes out, and he says he's back on Raw, and a lot of things are the same, likes how he steals a show. Everywhere he goes, he's the best to ever walk the aisle. But one thing has changed. He was interrupted, though, by Titus Worldwide. I pretty much just try to offer him a spot on in Titus Worldwide. So he's like, I appreciate the offer, guys, but no, before you interrupted me, I was going to say that one thing that has changed. He didn't come back to Raw alone. And I'm thinking, who could he possibly have rounded up this up? Like, I couldn't think of who it is. So then all of a sudden, Titus Worldwide gets blindsided. And I'll be honest, by the hairstyle, I thought first it was Jinder again. I'm like, why is Jinder Mahal, because the hair, the height, I saw like, why is Jinder teaming up with Dolph? But all of a sudden I realized it was Drew McIntyre. And we haven't seen Drew McIntyre since he lost the NXT Championship to Andrade Cien Almas at NXT TakeOver War Games last November. And he suffered that injury during the match, and he's been out since. But yeah, they teamed up, and they beat down on Titus Worldwide, and they had like a really nice combo to put down. I can't remember. I think it was Apollo. The Claymore and Zigzag combo they hit on it was pretty sick. So it's random, yes, I get it, but you know, I'm kind of interested. I'd like to know, you know, what goes on with this tag team. Why are they teaming up? So I'm definitely interested to see what happens there. Hopefully, you know, McIntyre's main roster run will be better as it was last time. I mean, his run at NXT was good for what it was, but he probably didn't really need to have that run, in my honest opinion. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But we got that. We had that happen as well. Let's see here. A new name for Dolph and Drew, Team Didi or McZig, the best to offer as a tag team name. Yeah, you know, they'll probably think of something, you know, just stupid for them. Is Almas heel? Yes, he is. He is awesome as a heel. Is Gargano face? Yep. Gargano could debut tomorrow. I think it is possible that Gargano could come up to SmackDown, or maybe put him and Tommaso in the Cruiserweight division, but I like to see him on SmackDown. Daniel Bryan even said himself before TakeOver New Orleans that he'd like to see Gargano on SmackDown Live. That'd be an awesome match. Daniel Bryan versus Johnny Gargano, or even Bryan versus Ciampa. Also, team name for Dolph and Drew, Clay Zig. Clay Zig. Oh my goodness, Lauren, you're coming up with the classy ones. I'm loving it. Keep the stuff coming though, as always. So then we had this. I kind of didn't really like this promo. That makes no sense. I kind of didn't really like this. This promo bothered me. Roman Reigns came out again with no gloves on. He takes in the Roman sucks chance, and he says he's here and Brock isn't once again. Again, I that's the whole storyline before WrestleMania. Again, I was fine, but now it's starting to get old. The whole thing. Oh yeah, Brock's not here. We know what else is new. Last week, Roman admits, well, he didn't say this, but last week he admitted that he didn't even know why he's getting another title opportunity also. My thing was, okay, he lost. He should at least earn the opportunity again. Once again, he's getting handed it. So I'm like, okay, this is, again, why people are, you know, getting aggravated with him, because they're booking him in ways he's received title opportunities, but why is he getting them? He just said Brock's not here, and he's going to leave him trapped in a cage and come back as your full-time Universal Champion. He's about to say, and since tonight is a Superstar Shakeup, he gets interrupted, and Samoa Joe comes out. Another great promo delivered by Joe, but I wasn't a fan of how this went down. He says that Roman comes out here. He's so quick to brag about how he shows up for work, but he knows something. He can't get the job done. He hasn't gotten the job done. He never will. He talks about the cage match, saying he's going to go in there and be champion, but he fails to understand that he's going in there with a beast that's beating him every time. Then he shows like this video package. There's every time, you know, Brock's always got the upper hand on Roman. I'm like, okay, here we go again, trying to build sympathy on Roman again. This is Vince. This is Vince. This is not Joe. This is Vince talking. But he pretty much says, you know, when you come back to a sweaty mess though afterwards, you're gonna be put to sleep by me at Backlash. And then Roman just says, you know, everything that Brock has done, you're right, but what he wants to see is Joe's lazy fat ass can do, get into the ring. So, but then I didn't like this. Joe goes down to the ramp, but then he decides and just walks back, says brains isn't worth his time. But then he takes his towel off, goes teases again. It just reminded me of that promo back in 2016 by built the Money in the Bank when Rollins kept like running and teasing, going in and back. I'm like, that's not Joe. Joe's a guy who just, you know, plays the smart, just, you know, blindsides people and whatnot. He doesn't like back down from fights. I didn't really like how they did that. I'm like, that's not Joe. It's like that promo just read Vince. Like, when these two can just talk straight from the heart and not be scripted, they're awesome. I mean, Joe always delivers great promos, but I wasn't a fan of how he just, like, you know, just backed down from Roman. I'm like, that's just not Joe. And like I do agree also that like why are they having? I mean, they've never had a pay-per-view match together, but Roman did kind of conquer Joe in the Intercontinental title feud they had back at the beginning of this year. So I'm not sure really what this feud is supposed to prove at this point. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Roman wins the title off of Brock, and then Joe eventually wins it off of Roman. Maybe because I think it's long coming for Joe. Let's see here. Zelina Vega is a heel, yeah. Hire Us, Desperate, Weed Rock, yes. Roman, I'm surprised he won't go to SmackDown Live. Joe could go to SmackDown Live. It'd be awesome. Yep. The stream go, what? Do you follow other WWE YouTubers? I follow some, yeah. Could Brock go to SmackDown Live? Stay tuned. I mean, we could see Brock go to SmackDown a lot. I mean, I don't know. Since AJ didn't go over to Raw, I don't think they're going to move Brock over to SmackDown Live, but will be a swerve maybe. They still could move one of the champions over. It could be a big swerve like, whoa, what's going on here, whatnot. So it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but I'm going to break no, but it could happen. We'll see. But yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of that promo. It felt like it was just a repetition of what happened last week, and then the fact that they had Joe back down from a fight, I'm like, that's never been Joe. Joe like makes like he does something, but he'll like outsmart them in some other way, pretty much. Like I wasn't a big fan. This is the same guy who went after Brock. Like he never backed down from Brock at all in the build for their match at Great Balls of Fire last year. But you're backing down to a fight from Roman Reigns. Come on, guys. Right? Don't pull off that crap. Then we had Mandy Rose versus Natalya. This match pretty much happened just to have Absolution just beat down again on someone and have Ronda Rousey come out there and make the save and get some of her offense in there, which is shown, just pretty much giving us like, an encore, a little bit of what happened. Well, besides, her, hurting Stephanie McMahon's arm again last week, just her again, just like, just getting some offense in and whatnot. So I don't know if like her and Natty are going to be some type of like a babyface stable or something like that on Raw or something like that. But, we'll see where it goes, but that's all we pretty much got out of that. Getting tired, but I'll stay on. If you want to, Lauren, don't feel forced to stay on. Orton, AJ, Cena, and Jeff could all retire on SmackDown Live. It's their home. They could, honestly. Work at 9:30 tomorrow. See you tomorrow for a shakeup. Love you, sweet dreams. Thank you for tuning in live as always, Lauren. Sorry I kept you up too late. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for this SmackDown Superstar Shakeup. I'm getting tired too. I better hurry up. But yeah. So afterwards, Ronda just pretty much just destroyed Sonya Deville. It was pretty cool. But then we get a video package that Baron Corbin's coming to Raw again. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I feel like he's going to get lost in the shuffle. But yes, then we had Breezango versus the Bar. I don't know if it's just say, hey, we're going to take Breezango seriously, but they got a pinfall victory on the Bar. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we'll see if they actually do take Breezango seriously on Raw now that they're out of Ryan off of Road Dogg's table, but we'll see. But so yeah, we had that. And then we had Elias backstage about decision for not to play tonight. He doesn't do small time anymore, only the shows that matter, and Hartford definitely doesn't matter. Much like Bobby Lashley doesn't matter, and since he left, Elias has become the bigger star, and Lashley should go sit in the stands and worship him like everyone else. But if you interrupt him again, he'll learn that WWE stands for walks with Elias. So he wants to do a private concert for Renee, but Renee's like, nope, not having it. Then we got our main event, and the surprise superstar ended up being Bobby Roode. I don't know why. I like Bobby Roode, but his main roster run as a babyface hasn't really been that great. So I don't know why. Him being revealed to being like the mystery partner. So I'm like, cool, like whatever. Match was fun though. They definitely had. We got to see these guys get their offense in there. Bobby Lashley also had some cool spots there as well. The guy can still move pretty well, I'd say that way. Of course, this was focused mainly on The Miz and his last night on Raw, and of course Braun Strowman came there and just destroyed the Miz. And then I like the spot where he went running after the Miz, and then he ran Kevin Owens over like a fright, like an 18-wheeler, and then just grabbed Miz and just destroyed him pretty much. He ended up winning by hitting a power slam on the Miz to get the win. So that's how we go off the air. And also at the end of the match, also the Miz Taraj just stepped back and refused to tag in the Miz as they had nothing to lose. They know that they're staying on Raw. Miz isn't going anywhere at all. But yeah, so that's how the show went off the air. Oh, Lauren's back. She cast on SmackDown Live, please. Definitely. Sweet dreams, Bay. Thanks, Lauren. You too, as always. Always love talking to you. Yeah, so that was pretty much Raw. Just to go over who moved over again in the Superstar Shakeup. Let's pull up my list again. So from main roster debuts and returns from last week, we had Ember Moon, No Way Jose, and Authors of Pain from NXT. Of course, Bobby Lashley made his return also. So those are, well, for the most part, those are good choices. I mean, No Way Jose, don't think he's going to get much on Raw. So Raw acquired Jinder Mahal, the Riot Squad, Owens and Zayn, Zack Ryder, Breezango, Natalya, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, The Ascension, Bobby Roode, Mojo Rawley, Mike Kanellis, and Chad Gable. A lot more low card names this year, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get maybe like some of them will get some opportunities and be built up as serious contenders again. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens, but I definitely agree that not too many like huge names got moved over. Like Owens and Zayn's definitely an upgrade. McIntyre and Ziggler's interesting. Corbin is somewhat interesting as well. I mean, he could be. He definitely has some momentum, but he's like kind of one of those guys that he's on I feel like he's on his last leg based off of how W just like cut off all of his momentum like the last week before SummerSlam pretty much. So he has some momentum, but it's like he's not maintaining it. So we'll see what happens with him on Raw. Bobby Roode, same thing. But yeah, a lot of low card guys basically got moved over to Raw. SmackDown's gonna get some bigger stars probably. Hopefully Road Dogg doesn't ruin them also tomorrow night. But yeah, with that, I guess that is pretty much it. Thank you guys for tuning in for this live review. Again, sorry it came late, but I was just trying to get my thoughts in from the Superstar Shakeup. But if I can give this, well, first let me check the polls on Twitter. 16 votes, 38% said A, 44% said B, nobody said C, and 18% said D. I think I'll give this Raw a B minus. Yes, it had some low points, but had some interesting points in there as well also. So that's why I'll give this grade for Raw a B minus. So what are your thoughts on tonight's episode of Raw? Leave thoughts down in the comment section below as always. And be sure to always click my like and subscribe for more content to come to this channel. You may follow me on Twitter as always at DemandAirboy93. I know most people probably signed off already, but I will be giving out these reminders this week for all my live streams because I want to make it clear people for my schedule for next week. I've hyped it up here and there, but this week's gonna be like a normal schedule. SmackDown live review tomorrow. 205 live either later tomorrow or even Wednesday morning, and NXT review Wednesday night. I'm not sure I'll be able to get a special live stream in this week at all, but next week though, again, I'll still be reviewing Raw on Monday, but I'm gonna be going out of town next week. I'm leaving Tuesday morning to go out west to visit my sister. So just stay patient with me. I will try to keep up to date on my reviews as best as possible while I'm gone. If not, then I'll definitely try to get back up to date as soon as I get back. I'll also try to do my Backlash printed card also this week. That way I get that done before I leave on Tuesday also. But so again, guys, just stay patient with me and know I'm going to still do my reviews, but I may not get them exactly, after Raw or after SmackDown and whatnot between next Tuesday and the following Tuesday because I'll be on vacation. So, guys, thank you guys again for tuning in as always. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Well, actually, first I'll record the turn alerts for Natty and McIntyre, and then I'll go to bed. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in as always, for checking out. Until then, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for part 2 of the Superstar Shakeup from SmackDown Live. Peace, everybody.